Hi, this is Mallory Handford, and you're watching the original Father-Son Voiceover podcast.
Hello and welcome into the original Father-Son Voiceover podcast studio. And right now, my dad, across from me, and I will be talking about Todd's Tips. This is a segment where Dad talks about all things voiceover, small business, and gives us some tips. I wouldn't say tricks, but tips about how he runs his business and how maybe some of those things you can take into account for your business. I certainly do a lot of the things that he does, and I'm just 3 years in. He's been in it for 13 years. So without further ado, Dad, you've got the floor.
Thanks. Glad you could join us for Todd's Tips. More and more people are watching these, and if you have any questions or comments, suggestions, just fire those off, and Hudson will be glad to put those in our inbox, if you will, and in our queue, and we'll talk about those things.
Yeah, and you can email us. You can either put it in the comment section, or you can email us, me, at hudsonbarsness@yahoo.com. It'll show right here. Demond will put that on there for us, so it'll be pretty clear to you. So anyway.
Thanks. The name of this little video segment is Todd's Tips, and he's already talked about what that means. But under that umbrella, we've been doing, as you well know if you've joined us for multiple months, we've been doing my do's and don'ts. These are just things that I do and I don't do. And Demond, our audiovisual producer, always puts these caveats so that you can see that I'm not force-feeding these on you. I'm not trying to bully you into doing these types of things or saying you're a bad person if you don't, or this is an absolute must. All I think an absolute must is that you just slow down, give an ear to some of the do's and don'ts that I have, and then apply them. Or say, pass. I'll just, pass on this. Or maybe you'll have to manipulate it so that it fits to your business and your personal situation. Maybe you're part-time. Maybe you can't do this full-time. Or maybe you're just getting started. There's all sorts of ways that you have to take what I say. And I think this is an important part. I'm not going to go off on this too far, but I think that's an important part about being a learner. I think you can get a lot of things for free on the internet as far as voiceover if you'll just listen to the person and say, what are they saying as a general way of saying things? What are they trying to get at? And then applying those things to your particular situation. And that's what I'm asking you to do for these Todd's Tips and our do's and don'ts. So here's another do. I do focus my pricing by the hour and by the day, and not so much by the project. I do focus my pricing by the hour and what I want to make in a day, not so much by the project. Now, there seems to be two basic philosophies out there when you think about pricing. The first one is, I've got standard rates, maybe they're union rates, maybe they're GVAA, gravy for the brain, maybe they're just ones that you say, I think this is what I want to charge. And you might want to call them fair rates, or other rates are unjust and killing the industry, however you want to do it. But I think there's two, and the first one is I've got standard rates per project, and for the most part I stand firm on those because of some of the things that I've talked about. And again, you do you. For me, and this is the second part, standard rates per project, and focus on the per rate, per hour amount. Sure, you want to get something per the project. You want to get the highest that you possibly can, or at least in something in line with what you think is, quote, fair. But also think about your hourly rate. What are you making hourly? What do you want to make during the day? So I have that second philosophy. I have a standard rate sheet that I think I want to work for. I developed it myself based on what I thought people were willing to pay me. And they do. A lot of times they'll pay me more. But I have a standard rate sheet. But because I want to work, and that's a key thing, I want to work, I'm flexible. And I count success not so much on the per project. In other words, if somebody doesn't pay me $400 for a 2-minute explainer video, I say, I'm not going to do that, because I would not count that as success. I don't That's not how I'm built mentally. And I don't think that's really how the real world works. So I rather do it on a per hour rate and a per day rate, I ask myself, what am I trying to make per hour? What am I trying to make each day? So, example, if I don't have any free time during my workday, in other words, I'm pretty filled up, and a client asks for a 2-minute explainer video, well, I want to get $250 to $350. However, if it comes down to doing the work or losing the job because the client only has $150 or $200, I'll probably still do the project. Again, I'll gladly take $250 or $350 instead of $150. Why wouldn't I? Of course, I'm going to try to get that. But if I can't, I can do 2 takes of a 2-minute explainer video in 15 minutes at the most. 15 minutes, send it off in that 15-minute time period, and that is $600 per hour. $600 per hour. Again, some people say, nope, that's hurting the industry. Nope, I don't want to open my mic for anything less than $250 or $300. That's just not me. I just don't think that way. So that's me. Do what you want to do. But here's something. And this plays into it. And that's why, I give those caveats. And here it is. After making $25 an hour as a top of something that I ever made before I got into voiceover, $25 an hour was the top pay that I ever made before getting into voiceover 13 years ago. I'm going to take $600 an hour every single time. It's just not that complicated. And again, there might be people out there, but you're killing the industry for taking that $150 job. I don't buy into that for lots of reasons. I won't go into those. But it goes back to that I do focus my pricing with a standard rate sheet, but I focus it on what I want to make per hour and per day. And right now I'm averaging about $1,300 a day working in voiceover. And I'm fine with that because that's over $300,000 a year. It's $320,000, $325,000 a year. And so that's how I've built my business. And that's why I think one of the reasons why it's successful. So that's my do, and you do what you want to do.
Yeah, I think that's something that you are training me right away to get used to is being flexible, because right now I'm trying to fill up my schedule. You are somebody who has it filled. But being able to just get used to being flexible is a good idea, because in the end, it'll probably serve you better than saying, I don't open up my microphone for $200 or less. Whatever, you can do whatever you want. But for me, it's like, $150 for I just did this week. I got a job finally from a person that actually you put me on probably about 6 months ago. And it's about 40 minutes of audio. I did it for $400, because to me, having the work, having the practice, and getting paid for it is way more beneficial than just saying, nope, can't do that because my price is right here. I'm kind of a little bit of a beggar when it comes to the voiceover world. And so I'm just trying to pick up whatever I can and get $750 a week. Now, I didn't get that this week, but I was very close, and I wouldn't have been anywhere near it if I wouldn't have taken that. So anyway, those are just things that you're teaching me to do as I'm trying to grow my business. And I know that's what you used to do, because you talk about that. You still do it.
And and we have a little piece of wood sitting by our fireplace. And I wrote it not for you, but for Damon. But I write it for all of our family. And it just says, my money is on you. And when you run your business that way, I have great hope, great anticipation that you're going to continue to go like this, and you're going to surpass so many people that make $40 or $50 or $60,000 a year by saying, nope, not turning my mic on. And, okay,
I will.
If you want to do that, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it all the time.
Yeah.
So far, so good.
Thanks for that. Mm-hmm. All right, next up, Johnny will be here from VO Marketing Pro, and he'll be on the couch, and we'll be seeing how the VOMP members did, also how Dad's week went, and how my week went. So join us for that next.